one.
Good evening. This is an October Caddis we're going to tie tonight. I'm using fire hole 718 hooks in a size 14. I'm just using these things all the time anymore. They're a great little hook. I'm using ultra wire, copper, ultra wire copper, this medium in this particular case. I'm using ultra thread, 140 denier. This is brown, but you can use tan, orange, whatever you want to use. Got hairline dubbing, rust orange dubbing. We're using elk body hair, light bull. So we get some pretty good colors, and it's fairly long. Finer than the elk hair I just picked up, that's for sure. And then we're using neck hackle and a kind of a darker ginger color. It's in a turkey hackle bag, so ignore that part. Okay, I think we're ready to go. I'm going to get this out of the vise. Pop a hook in. Wish I had a real live camera for this. Look a little nicer. Normally we could go with a lighter thread on this, but since I'm working with elk hair, we're going to go with the 140. That way I know it's not going to break on me very easily anyway. I'm going to tie in the copper wire along the top. All you have to do is just tie this in. You don't have to use consecutive threads or anything. Now we're going to dub. We're going to use probably about half of that at least to begin with. String it out a little bit. Moisten it. This should be at least somewhat buggy. So we want a good full turn at the tail. And then we can wrap that up the hook. I'm having problems because my camera is too close. That's why I keep bumping it. All right, we can add a little bit more of that. There we go. Strip that off. And tie in that last little bit. Then we're going to bring our copper wire ribbing. Whoop, wait a minute. I screwed up, guys. Sorry about that. Don't worry, I'll stick around till it's ended, till it ends. I forgot to tie in the hackle. Remember, I keep telling you to leave a little bit of that blank shack or blank shank of that feather. So the hackle wraps better. Now we're going to wrap the hackle, spiral it up. We want to come full, complete turn at the tail. And then we can begin spiraling that hackle up the shank. That off. Trim it out of there. A couple of more secure turns. Now we're going to wrap the copper wire the other direction, the counterclockwise. And we just wiggle that wire as we move it up. So we try not to trap any hackles underneath it. So as we're wiggling this up, we're still keeping a nice fuzzy hackle in there. Usually about 4 turns of the 140 denier, and then we can helicopter that wire out of there. Trim the fly tying thread off the rear end. Now I've already pre-stacked a little bit of elk hair. I pull it out of the stacker and I want all nice, long, straight fibers. So I hold it near the back and I filter out all of the short fibers. So you end up with a nice little stack that looks like this. So we're going to place this. Well, it's probably a little bit too thick. We'll pull some of those out of there. There we go. That's just about perfect. So we're going to put this out right around to the end of the fly, the hook bend, where we want those fibers. We're going to wrap 1, 2, 3 times around. Pull those fibers up so we don't go down to their hook eye. Try to keep those fibers on the top of the hook, like we've learned how to do before. And now we can whip finish. Clean our thread out. If you think this fly is going to catch a lot of heavy use, you might want to put a little dab of glue in here. So we lift these front hairs up, and then we're going to go from the hook eye and we're going to angle back just about like that. And we're going to cut those elk hairs out of there. So we have a little bit of a ramp here that actually pushes water. And if you were to make this out of kapok, it would be even higher floating. But there's your October Caddis.
Looks good, Jim.
Any questions about that?
So what makes an October caddis different than any old other ordinary elk hair caddis?
It's orange.
It's festive.
And if
Can't
you had
stump
orange,
you, can I?
if you had some orange deer hair, you might want to mix that tan and orange about half and half. Now, I've never seen any elk hair caddis tied with a tail, but you know, if you want that little extra bit of sparkle, you can put just a touch of something like crystal flash at the end of that. But there you go, gentlemen. There's your October Caddis, fairly easy to tie and extremely effective. And if you get to the hills most of the year, black, everything black. And boy, I'll tell you what, those really attract the fish out there in the hills. So you can do all kinds of things. You can vary the elk hair color. You can vary the color of the dubbing. You can vary the color of the hackle. All kinds of neat things you can do with this.